Hey, Sally here, and I thought maybe you would want to know a little bit of the history of why I now am an advocate for taking care of ourselves and protecting ourselves while we're working in a profession that's very stressful. And to give you some background with me, I started as a hygienist, working a lot and enjoying helping other people. The stress of the whole situation started to take its toll on me about 6 years into working. I'd noticed that I'd had some tightness and tension in my back, that I was really clenching my teeth, and that I was starting to get headaches that were going up the back of my neck. But it wasn't until I started feeling unable to hold on to my instruments that I knew that I had a serious problem. Once I got the tension released from my back, which took some time because it took some time to build that up, I noticed how much of the tactile sensitivity that I'd lost from the patients that I'd seen and then now was treating again. So there's even those subtle things that you wouldn't think about when you have physical stress. I was grumpy. I had my game face on, so I was always pleasant and smiling at work. But inside I was like, oh, gosh, just get me through this day. And I also noticed the stress of the pace that we were meant to keep starting to take its toll on me. The tension that I would feel in my shoulders when I looked at the clock and I was running behind, or how I felt I'd never get everything done because this person had a toothache and we had to look at that as well as do everything that they came for that day, i.e. a hygiene visit. So whenever somebody had something extra. Then we had the dentist being late coming into the room, and with each one of those and with the tension in my hands, shoulders, I could just feel that clamping down, because what I really wanted to do was say, I don't have enough time, right? Or when you're having to make a choice between, do I eat lunch or do I go to the restroom? It just doesn't compute. When you don't have time to sharpen your instruments because of everything else that you have to do, and yet if you would sharpen your instruments, or if I would sharpen my instruments, I would be able to get my job done, of course, the way that I wanted to. And of course, as a hygienist, and I know you're in the same boat as me, we have a high standard of perfection because we were taught, don't you dare miss that one piece of calculus. I tried to make a game of it and make it like hide and seek, but that didn't help when I was waiting for my doctor, and then the patient going out to get the new patient back would, be angry with me because I was late taking them when it actually was I was waiting, right? And then, well, the people who barely pick up a toothbrush in between visits, or if they do, they're using the wrong side, like the hard plastic. And then, of course, they're tender and sensitive and trying not to hurt somebody and get the job done added more stress and more tension to my back and neck. I was even feeling it in my thighs because I would have to balance myself because I was in such a hurry that I wouldn't sit properly. I would just sit down however I sat, and I would notice the tension in my legs. And then, of course, the added mental stress of having an office that was dysfunctional, having to walk on eggshells around certain employees, being unable to ask for help, or feeling like if I didn't do above and beyond, I was going to be considered the prima donna who didn't do any work and got paid too much. And all that would weigh on my consciousness and make me witchy when I got home, and often grab a bottle of wine and the dark chocolate first. That was my self-medicating that I ended up doing. And I looked at all this and I thought, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. I don't deserve to dread Monday morning starting Sunday night at dinner. I don't deserve to feel like I have to put a game face on when I walk into my place of employment. I don't deserve to feel like a second-class citizen when I'm producing without the help of a doctor, and feel like it's my fault when there's an opening in my schedule or something just doesn't go right. Maybe the instruments didn't get wrapped and put in the autoclave or whatever. I got tired of feeling like a second-class citizen. And I don't deserve to be put isolated because I'm the only hygienist, and there may be a couple people at the front desk, a couple assistants. I don't deserve isolation. I don't deserve to feel like people are looking at me like I'm spoiled and have to do 10 times as much to be part of the team. And that's, again, I had to do something. I had to stay in my profession. I really didn't have a choice. I was working and responsible for a lot of the bills in the house. I know I'm not alone with this. And I was responsible for making sure that the house ran well. And I was responsible for making sure the kids got to the doctors and the dogs got to the vet and the dogs got walked and the kids got fed. And I just felt responsible. It was just too much. It was too much. I was at a breaking point. And I look back and I go, you know, if I hadn't found what I found and started working towards where I am now, I feel that I would be dead. And I'm not sure if it would have been from insanity or I would have committed suicide, because I was wishing that I would get ill and in the hospital so I could get a break. I mean, that's how overwhelmed with everything that I took on. And that's just how overwhelmed I was. And that's how I didn't feel like I had support. And, you know, perhaps I'm resonating with you. Perhaps you have heard someone say the same thing, or you felt the same way. And I'm here to say, there's hope. There is hope. I'm proof. I've been working for 40 years in this profession that usually chews people up and spits them out between 3 to 7 years. Yeah. And I have to say, I enjoy it more now than I ever have. I'm working in an office that is awesome. You guys would be so jealous if I told you everything. It's amazing. So all that is possible for you. Yeah. Promise.